Good afternoon. My name is Joe Bandel, and I am the last Rosicrucian. Well, we've covered childhood, we've covered youth. It's time to grow up and be adults. So, here's a few thoughts from my experience. As a man, I was determined to bring my dreams into physical reality, and everywhere I turned, I met with opposition. This should sound familiar to a lot of you. I was forced to confront the world as it really was and deal with things that I really didn't want to deal with, things that I felt were not really important. The little things. I wanted to take shortcuts and didn't want to be bothered by the small details. I didn't realize at the time that the small details made the difference between success and failure. We learn these things the hard way. When you're living in your head, sometimes reality really bites. Another way of saying this is that I needed to become competent at life before life would recognize me and grant me my desires. There is such a wide chasm between having a dream and manifesting it in physical reality. That requires attention to the small details. It is so easy to be distracted by other concerns, by other people, and by other dreams as well. I was a dreamer, and it was not easy for me to be practical. It's still not that easy to be practical, believe me. In a way, I had to constantly think about my dream until it became so strong that I grew emotional about it. When I became emotional enough about it, I was driven to act upon my dream. After several failed tries and repeated efforts, I often managed to achieve my dream, but the results were not what I expected. Nothing like what I expected. And I never seemed to get it on the first try. You talk about having every stone turned against you. That's kind of the way my life seems like it has been. But each success made me stronger and helped me to believe in my own capabilities, to believe in my own ability to succeed. That's why successes are so important. I cannot stress that enough. Each success allowed my sense of self and my self-esteem to grow stronger. Success can become just as much of a habit as failure can. We need successes to be successful in life. It's just that simple. If I wrote a list of the top 20 things that I wanted to do in my life, I've already done the top 18. The problem is, none of them turned out the way I wanted or the way that I thought they would, but I did them. And that can't be taken away. In the process of achieving each one of these goals, I became more competent at determining what my true goal should have been all along. In other words, a lot of these goals were false trails. But I didn't know it until I had achieved it and then realized that wasn't really what I wanted. Now I'm left with this one final thought. To make your dream come true, you need to pursue that dream. Give it all you have and not allow yourself to be distracted by less important things. Unfortunately, the world calls that being selfish and egotistical. It will try everything in its power to turn you away from the realization of your dream. It will try to force you to serve some other dream. Most people never even get the chance to go after their dream in life because the obstacles are too strong for them to overcome. Do you recognize these stages that I've talked about? The child is realistic, living in the moment, living in the present moment, but emotionally caught up in the flow of physical events without having the ability to understand or recognize why things are happening or what's happening. The youth has gained understanding, but at the cost of stepping back outside the flow of physical events as they happen. They've removed themselves. They've gone into their heads. The youth has become an impractical dreamer and observer of life. It is the adult that struggles to make the dream become physical reality. And the only way to do this is by dedicating one's entire self to that life purpose or goal. Otherwise, they will be sacrificed to some higher goal that is not their own to some external authority. Now, that's the basic thoughts that I'm trying to get through here. And it's kind of difficult because we're told what our dream should be. But we each have a dream. You have to give your dream. You can only, how do I say this? You can only give your soul to one dream. And it's got to be your dream. It's got to be the dream that's inside your heart. If you don't give yourself to your dream, the dream that you carry in your heart, it'll never happen. It can't happen. So you have to single-mindedly devote yourself to it, and you have to trust that if you do that, the rest of the world will prosper along with you. You have to believe that the rest of the world wants you to achieve your dream as much as you want it, so that a win-win situation can happen. In other words, when you follow your dream and you achieve your dream, you're going to be recognized by it. I've tried following my dreams. I tried following my bucket list, whatever, and I found out that those things that I achieved were not really what I thought they would be. That's kind of normal. But let me ask it the other way. What if I had followed somebody else's dream? What if I had listened to what somebody else thought I should do? Would I have done any better that way? No. That's selling yourself out. That's selling your soul out. That can never be right. But that's what we're expected to do. We go to these external authorities and they say, hey, this is what if you really want to have a good life here, or you really want to do this is what you should do. And you listen to them and you do what they say. And you know what? At the end of your life, when you look back, you did what somebody else told you to do. Did it make you happy? Well, I can tell you, I can't answer for you, but I can tell you for me. Doing what somebody else wants me to do when it's not that important to myself, when my heart is not in it, that's not right. That's just wasting time. That's just treading ground. Now, I'm 60 years old, and I have achieved a lot of things. And I'm sharing some of the wisdom that I've achieved over the years. And has that wisdom, has it helped me? In a way, yes, it has. It's helped me a lot. And I have peace, and I found my heart, and I found healing. But it's been a hard road. And I've learned a lot of humility. I've learned to eat humble pie. But I still have hope. And today, I've learned some of the things that are most important, and I've learned what's most important by actually doing some of those things. One of the things that I've learned is how important these messages are, because what I'm doing is I am sharing with you the essence, the secrets, the things that I've learned of a spiritual tradition, of the Western spiritual tradition. And these are important things, and I'm sharing these things because they're appropriate and they're needed in today's world. And I'm directed. I may not even make any money. Apparently money's never been important to me. But I've learned some of these things, and I've gained spiritual power and spiritual wisdom. And I'm offering these things. Another thing that I've learned that is important is translating, because one of my gifts is translating. Writing my own stuff never seemed to sell. I couldn't find somebody, but I have been able to make a modest sales. I can't make a living, but it's like a hobby that pays for itself through my translation work. Between these videos, my posts expressing the spiritual traditions that are appropriate, that I feel are appropriate for this new eon, this new age, and my translations, that's the closest that I've come yet to my dream. There's other things I haven't achieved yet, and they're coming. I hope they're coming. And I wake up every morning excited about what could possibly happen. And we'll see. That's all we can do. Consider supporting me on Patreon. And I have a lot of good information that I am willing to share. Things that you're not going to find anyplace else, because it's taken a lifetime of study and hard work and experience. As I like to think and say that I do speak from experience about a lot of these things. Thank you, and have a good day.